So primarily today we're going to be talking about Omega LockSync, which is our um, partnership we have with Omega, which is was historically or is historically a software for auto glass companies, and we've worked with them to adapt it for locksmiths specifically. So we'll get into the details here in a minute. Before we get started with that, I'll reintroduce myself for anyone that doesn't know me. My name is Sean. I am the Chief Marketing Officer here at Automotive Keys Group, Key Innovations. I was a previous founder of International Key Supply, which became part of Key Innovations. So if join our Facebook group. If you're just jumping in and you're not a member, join our private Facebook group. A lot of these kind of notifications go out. A couple reminders before we get started. We are having an October training and meet and greet in Phoenix, Arizona, October 10th and 11th of this year. So we're heading out to the West Coast to see our customers out there, provide some education, and shake hands and put names to faces. So looking forward to that. Then we're also going to have counter days at our Chicago warehouse, August 20th. So again, just come down for local customers or anyone nearby to meet and greet. We'll have deals. We'll have garage sale items. So, maybe refurbished items or previously returned items like key machines and things like that for sale. September 10th in Farmingdale, New York, we'll be doing the same thing. So Alex Martinez, the Key Innovation sales manager, will come down for any of the local people in New York. Same thing, special deals, garage sale items, and just food, coffee, meet and greet, nothing crazy, but just get to see everybody. Then, of course, we have Aloha coming up here in August. Josh, who's on the call with me now, will be there. I'll introduce Josh momentarily. And then our Key Innovations 8KG Locksmith Pro Expo in Nashville this in 2026, March 4th through 6th. So we'll have tons of classes. We'll have an expo, obviously deals, the deal bin that people love so much, garage sale stuff again. We'll have a bunch of vendors there and tons of classes. So keep an eye out for more communication, but save the date, March 4th through 6th in Nashville, which that'll be a lot of fun. I've always wanted to get there and I haven't been yet. And then finally, the last kind of quick update is yesterday we pushed a design update to the Key Innovations mobile experience, which we think is going to be a pretty decent improvement, putting the filters that most people want right front and center, the product type, the number of buttons, and the brand, whether you always like to buy aftermarket, OEM, new, refurbished. You'll be able to quickly filter there and then access to any other filters that we always have just a click away. So take a look at that. Mobile experience on both the app and the website was upgraded yesterday. So that being said, let me introduce Josh Chi. Josh is representing Omega LockSync. Josh recently came on board with them and we're working together for a couple of months now. Josh, you want to go ahead and kind of give people your history, how you got involved, and what you're doing?
Yep. So thanks, Sean. So everybody, my name is Josh Chi. I am fairly new to Omega. Just started with them back in April. But I'm excited to join the team. We here at Omega, we saw a pretty big gap in the software space for locksmiths. So that's kind of the value of what we're doing here as far as providing the first purpose-built solution to the industry. I'm definitely excited to get started with the company. Prior to joining Omega, I spent about 10 years or so in the software industry, predominantly around like supply chain, ERP solutions. And then prior to joining Omega, I was a Snap-on tools dealer for the past 4 years. I totally understand what it's like living and working out of a truck, managing inventory, and going on your route and stuff like that. So definitely can understand those challenges. And ultimately, my role here at Omega is to work with different locksmiths like yourself to really understand, what's the challenges in your life as far as operating your van and your locksmith business, and ultimately how our software Omega LockSync can help you guys out. So for today's call, what I want to be able to do is, for one, introduce myself, but also show you a little bit of an overview of the Omega LockSync platform and ultimately what we're doing as far as helping different locksmiths and whatnot. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick.
Yeah, and Josh, while you pull that up, I just want to,
Yeah,
rehash that. I mean, I think Omega got really lucky when they found Josh, someone who has software experience, but then also has the experience of having his own mobile-based business and dealing with similar customers as locksmiths and selling Snap-on tools to mechanics, right? So really the perfect blend, and also a car guy, which I always appreciate. So we're lucky to be working with Josh, and I think he's really a great uh, interface here between locksmiths and the software developers.
appreciate that, Sean. Yeah, just a fair warning out there. If any of you guys are car guys, don't start the car conversation with me because I'll talk your ear off. But before we get into this, I kind of like to share, the story of Omega, how we were founded and things like that, just because I think it definitely correlates to, what we're doing today or what we're looking to do in the locksmith community. So Omega EDI was founded in 2012, and it was founded by three guys, one technology guy, one business guy, and then a glass mechanic. So they were approached by one of the largest glass companies out there to develop a solution that worked in the glass mechanic space. And just fast forward over the years, they developed a solution that was really helpful for the glass community. And then now they're one of the leading software providers in that glass community for some of the largest glass businesses out there. So fast forward past couple of years, we've been kind of working with the key innovations team to really, come out with this locksmith solution, just because we found that, in the locksmith community, there's really no software out there that's kind of designed for locksmith to be able to kind of help manage your business. So Omega LockSync is really meant to be that end-to-end solution to help you manage your business. So everything from quoting, so quoting your customers to be able to help you provide accurate quotes to your customers, to be able to manage your different jobs and things like that. Scheduling, inventory management across your different locations. So that's really what the system is designed to be able to do, is really to help you manage your company. So what I'll do is kind of just give you a brief overview of the Omega LockSync system. So as you can see, this is a web-based application. So wherever you have internet access, you can access the platform. It's also designed to be mobile as well. So if you prefer using an iPad or an iPhone, you can use it on a mobile device. So as you guys can see, this is Omega LockSync. Wherever you have internet access, you can access the platform. So I'm just going to touch on just a few of the key features of the software application, and we can just have a conversation. If you guys want to take a deeper dive into the solution, we'll make sure that my contact information is shared with you guys, so you can reach out to me. I'll be your main point of contact if you did want to take a step further into looking at the solution. So as you can see here, I'm going to just kind of just start at quotes. So Omega LockSync, we do have the traditional year, make, model search that you're used to on the Key Innovations website. But we actually took that just a step further with a license plate lookup, as well as a VIN number lookup. So if you want to be able to provide any quotes to your customers, you can easily just ask for that information. And the backend engine for this is Carfax. So we use Carfax to be able to bring in this information. So essentially what I did was I just picked a random VIN number off of Car Gurus. This is for a 2021 Ford F-150. When you do a search, you can easily be able to search all of the different keys and parts that are associated with a 2021 Ford F-150. So whether you're searching by proximity keys, transponder keys, security blades, things of that nature, you can ultimately filter your search right here. And then this is the integrations that we have to the Key Innovations catalog. So this is awesome because you get this right at your fingertips. So when you have a customer calling in, you can put whatever vehicle that they own, and it gives you a full-blown catalog as far as what inventory items you can sell, but also the different services that you want to be able to perform to your customers. So whether you're performing an all keys loss fee, programming fee, a key cut fee, things of that nature, those are all things that you can sell. within the solution. But more importantly, one thing that you can see here is under the local stock column is we have some features built in that basically searches your own inventory. So if you have any inventory items that you're looking at on the catalog, the system would tell you that you have these items in stock in one of your warehouses, or I'm sorry, one of your locations, whether that's a van or a main shop, things like that. And then if this number right here is currently green because that tells me I have that inventory item sitting in van number 1 that I chose. And if it's yellow, that would basically tell me, hey, I have 2 of these inventory items sitting in a different location. So what that means for you, as you're quoting a customer, you can easily be able to see if you have any of these inventory items sitting within your van. So as you guys know, you can't sell what you don't have. So these jobs, you want to be able to be quick and fast as far as servicing these customers. So this kind of just gives you that information right at your fingertips in a quick fashion. But then on top of that, you also get all your other information like your OEM part number, the OEM FCC ID, what's available to purchase through Key Innovations, as well as that Key Innovations part number as well. So, but here at Omega, we're actually taking this a step further, and this is a feature that we're coming out with in the next week or so. We also have what's called custom interchanges. So that way, if you have your own SKU number, we can actually map those to whatever the key innovation SKU would be. So that way, as you're doing a search, whether it's a key innovation SKU or a different SKU that you're using, if you have your own SKU nomenclature for your own products, you can just map those to these items. So, and if you want to go ahead and create the job, essentially what the system is doing is it creates a customer invoice. You can track the individual who sold the job. We do support different pricing profiles as well. So we have a lot of customers that work with automotive dealerships, auction yards, as well as the retail customers. So the way we see that is typically there's different pricing that you provide to those customers. So we can help you set up what your pricing profiles are for those different customers, and it's really customizable in a sense of cost plus 100% markup or cost plus 50% markup. Depending on how you do business, we can configure these software application to your needs there. So going down here, and all of these pricing fields are also dynamic in nature. So that way, if you wanted to say, I'd like to sell this key at $200 out the door, you can easily do that, and this automatically changes to $200. So that's how basically how you quote and invoice a customer. But we can also help you manage all of your jobs. So especially for the different locksmiths that are out there who have multiple vans and you have a lot of different jobs and things like that. We can ultimately help you with your dispatching and managing the different jobs that you have out there. So this is a job management section within Omega LockSync. So as you can see, you have your list of jobs, you have your customers that you have, and we can set up your customers for you. You have the status of jobs, so you know whether you have a job that's still in a quoting status, or if you won the bid and you want to go ahead and do the work on the job, you can go ahead and do that. But the system also tells you different things, like if you want to put different tags for just to give you some more information right at your fingertips, or if you want to be able to provide your technicians some of that information, you can put that on this column right here. But you also have a job tracker too, so that way, we can help you track the entire life cycle of a job. So from the point of scheduling the job with your customer, the point of sourcing inventory items for your customer, routing the job to the customer, and then getting payments for the job. We can help you track all of that. So from one screen, you know where you are within the life cycle of those jobs. We do also have a full-blown scheduling and routing solution as well. So that way, if you have a day where you have a bunch of jobs that you're working on, we can help you route those jobs accordingly. So that way, you're basically maximizing your efficiencies of the day and how many jobs you service within the day. So this is what the scheduling side of Omega LockSync looks like. So we have all of the job numbers here. All of these jobs are color coded as well, so that way The green means you're basically done with the job. The red means it's still in process. So really, at your fingertips, you have all of that information. You have the customer requested time window for the appointment. You have the technician appointment window, so that way you understand, when the technician can get there, the vehicle that they're working on. You also have sourcing bubbles, so that way you can easily be able to tell, have I ordered these parts? Do I have these parts in stock? And have they been moved from the main shop to the van to be able to go to the job as well? So just a lot of information that you have right at your fingertips. In addition to this, we also have a full-blown inventory management solution built into the software as well. So we work with a lot of different locksmiths who have multiple van locations as well as a shop location. We work with different locksmiths who may have operations in multiple states, so we can help you set up your different territories for the different regions as well. But then you can also just utilize the system to see, what you have in all of your locations. So I just chose van one right here. And when you choose that, that tells me exactly all of the SKUs that I have on this truck, what I have on hand, and then what I have committed to jobs. If you wanted to be able to do a search for an inventory item, if a customer calls you, you can easily just put in a SKU number, and that tells me, where the SKU number is located, tells me how many I have on hand so I can sell. So, so one thing is, that I talk to a lot of locksmiths out there, and a lot of times locksmiths aren't tracking their inventory. And this is ultimately to just be able to help you be more efficient during the day. But also, the one thing that a lot of people don't think about is insurance. If you ever have a total loss, you want to be able to have a system where you have your inventory within a software application so you can prove to your insurance provider if you have any of those issues. Outside of that, we have our dashboarding and reports. So we have several reports that you can choose from, whether it's for your financials, whether they're administrative reporting for your different users, exports for of your inventory items. We can help you import your inventory items if you have that in an Excel spreadsheet, and as well as even a tech sales and a technician commission report as well. So if that's something that you're paying commissions for your technicians, we can ultimately help you out with that. So this is a very brief overview of the Omega LockSync platform. There is a lot more that goes into it, but and if you want to be able to take a look at that a little bit further, just reach out to me and we can schedule a demo for that. But as far as the what the onboarding and the sign up looks like for this, it's pretty straightforward. So the way we have it is for team users, you're looking at $199 a month. There's no contracts to that. If you're a single owner operator, you're only looking at $129 a month. And then you'll work with me as far as the onboarding and some of that training as well. So it's pretty straightforward. This is it's our latest and greatest solution for locksmiths. So we're excited to partner with Key Innovations and work with the Key Innovations team to be able to kind of just help you guys address a lot of the challenges that we see in the locksmith community.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. I think Josh, that was a definitely a quick overview. There's a lot more, I'm sure, that can be gone in depth. I think the one question, I know you've gotten a bunch of these questions. I knew that this was going to be a concern when we really even got this thing started, which is customer privacy, right? This I know is very important to locksmiths, and of course, there's people out there that think that this is just a gambit to get their customer information or something like that. And in that vein, what we're pushing to do right now and release soon is basically a customer privacy guarantee. So, where Omega LockSync and Key Innovations, I mean, we don't have access to the customer data in there anyway, but Omega will be putting out a guarantee that your customer data is completely private, not shared, not accessible. It's yours. We have no interest in knowing who your customers are. We want to nip that right in the bud before it gets started. So that's something we're going to release soon. We're just kind of finalizing the language on it and making sure we cover everything we need to in the terms of service and privacy policy. But I know that that is definitely a concern of locksmiths, and I know Josh, you've already heard that, and it's no surprise to me that you had. Um, let's see, we have a couple questions here. Ben Hobbs is asking, is this on Apple or Android?
So it could be both. It is web-based, so you can really use it on either platform. So just using a web browser, you can just log into the application. We do have a technician app. The technician app is more of a slimmed down version of Omega LockSync, meant for the technicians that are going out and performing the jobs. Currently, we do have an Android app, and then we're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks to come out with our iOS app.
Got it. What's so the difference between, do you know off the top of your head kind of really what the difference is between the two, the dispatch and the
Yep.
technician?
Yeah, so the technician app is more so for them to go out to perform the job. So whenever a dispatcher assigns a job to that technician, essentially what the technician app is doing is giving the technician all of the information of the job. So the year, make, model, the vehicle that they're working on. It gives them the address, the customer's address of where the appointment is located. It tells them what key that they're selling, as well as what services they're performing, like all keys lost fee or programming and whatnot. And it's for them to be able to basically perform that job. So get to the job, uh, do a pre-inspection. So we do have what's called a pre-inspection. So that way, if you get to a vehicle, let's say it's Mercedes or an Audi, is there's a higher end vehicle, and you see some damage done to the vehicle, you can actually take some pictures of that, complete the job, do a post inspection, make the customer sign off on that, which can all be done from the mobile device. They can take a payment from that as well, assuming they have the integrated payments set up to Omega, and take that payment and complete that. So that's essentially what the technician app is for. And then the Omega LockSync platform is to do everything else, like creating the quotes, creating the jobs, inventory management, things of that nature. So the technician app is traditionally only used by the technician performing the job. And then most everyone else is typically just logging in through a web browser to get the full application.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
So,
Let's see. Stephen asked, can you name those locksmiths so we can ask their opinion? Stephen, just clarify that. That I know that was a little bit ago, so I don't remember exactly what that was in reference to. Let's see. Ben Hobbs asking, can we list inventory on our own number?
yep. So that is a great question. So the short answer to that is yes. So if you have your own inventory items, you can create those within Omega LockSync, whatever that is. And just for example, if that your inventory item is the same item as a Key Innovations product, and the Key Innovations SKU number is different, you can still map those, and you can still do a search based on your own SKU versus whatever the Key Innovation SKU is. So here at Omega, we recognize that, in the locksmith and the automotive community, there's everyone kind of uses a different SKU. Obviously, our goal is to really kind of standardize this industry, so that way we can kind of just go down to a single SKU. But we understand everyone does everything different. So your answer, Ben, is yes, we can do that, and that feature is coming out within the next week or so.
Cool. Perfect.
Yep.
Let's see. Gio's asking about the Keyless to Go program. Yes, Gio, we are still doing that. Ben again is asking, can you dispatch drivers over this? You want to kind of talk about the dispatch features that the Omega has built in?
Yep. So you can dispatch drivers over this. So the way it works is, actually, let me just go share my screen again really quick. Let me just verify that screen number one with the Omega LockSync is showing. Is that correct, Sean?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. So you can easily dispatch your drivers to the job. So I just jumped to the schedule module within Omega LockSync. So if I'm putting my dispatcher hat on, as I'm taking a look at my schedule for the day, I can easily take a look at all of the jobs that I have on schedule for this particular date. I can see where, what vehicle I'm working on, what service address, what skills are needed for this job. And then I could take a look at that and I can make a decision based on what the job is and assign a technician accordingly. So as easy as that. So as soon as you do that, it basically triggers a notification to the technician saying, giving them an update that there's a job that has showed up on their schedule. But there's also different views if you prefer to see a different view than a list view. So as a dispatcher, if we prefer to look at a calendar view, which these you can also drag and drop, you can easily assign your drivers or your technicians to a job. So the system is very robust in that nature. And ultimately, this is the culmination of 10 plus years of developing software code to be able to come out for this for our scheduling routing for different mechanics, for mobile mechanics. You can even use a map view. So if you prefer a map view, you can easily just take a look at a map and be able to see your territory, your different technicians, which are all color coded, and you can route and assign them accordingly. Taking it a step further, if you want to be able to put jobs and appointments on hold, let's just say you have a key that you don't have in stock, and it's on back order, you can easily put them on a wait list. Or if you just can't contact the customer's on vacation, they're not answering the phones, you can easily just put those on a waiting list. So very robust scheduling and routing tool for what you guys are doing.
Cool. All right, next question. We've got Mo asking, can the inventory management system be configured to give you alerts if your inventory levels drop below a user set threshold?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a concept called MOH, or minimum, what we call minimum on hand. So this has to be kind of set up on the front end of setting up Omega. So what we can do is work with you as far as importing your inventory into Omega, and then we can set minimum stock levels for your SKUs. So we call it minimum on hand. So once you get below a certain threshold, if you want to be able to have 5 on hand and you get to 4, there will be a report. There's a report that basically tells you you're under your minimum on hand threshold. So yes, you can do that.
Cool. Perfect. Happy to answer any follow-up questions there if you got any, Mo. So Stephen clarified when you said we work with a lot of locksmiths and we've heard from a lot of locksmiths, he's under the impression this program is nearly brand new, who has been in the program already. So if I can jump
Good
in first
question.
there, Josh.
Yeah.
Stephen, so while the program is new, the software is not, right? So one thing, the software there was already a long baseline of this software for Josh, whatever Josh said, 10 years working with Autoglass. Initially, when we first started working with Omega to customize this for locksmiths, we obviously met internally, right, with us and our experience dealing with locksmiths, not being a locksmith. And then we got in front of our locksmith advisory council. So these are maybe 8 locksmiths that we semi-regularly meet with. And then, of course, since then, Josh has had, I don't know, dozens of, I won't speak for you, but plenty of phone calls and demos with locksmiths. And we've had a few demo beta customers also that have been, in the system for the last couple months. So Josh, I don't know if you want to expand
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah. Appreciate the question there, Steven. So we have been working with the advisory council as far as really understanding what does a day in the life look like for locksmiths. But prior to us coming to market with Omega LockSync, for several months we've had a beta test group where we've had various locksmiths of all sizes. So locksmiths who are operating in different cities with multiple vans, all the way down to that single owner operator locksmith. And we basically gave them the software for free. We brought them on board. We helped them with the data migration. And they've been utilizing the software for this past several months to basically poke holes into the system. So we asked them specifically, hey, use this for your business. We want you to find any software bugs or any issues or maybe even some workflows that aren't efficient. And we've been working with them and gathering feedback, and really kind of tailoring the solution for locksmiths, because it's ultimately our experience is more around the glass space, and we've had to kind of reconfigure that for this industry. So the value of that is ultimately that this is our focus now, is a locksmith community. And as we continue our partnership with Key Innovation and continue our partnership with you guys, our paying customers and our future customers, I am taking all your feedback around the system, and I work very closely with our developers as well as our founders within Omega. With this feedback, we have a rolling weekly call where we kind of hash out, hey, this feature looks like it could be a necessity, or hey, I saw this issue. So what that really means for you guys is, if you do decide to work with us, we're going to be a partner for you guys. We're not just going to be that super huge software company that doesn't care about you guys, or just come up with features that may help a certain industry, but it may not help you guys. And our focus is only locksmiths. So all of the feature enhancements that we're going to come out with, the improvements that we come out with on the platform, it's ultimately to benefit the overall locksmith community. So
Yeah. Josh, is it fair to say that Omega LockSync software has been kind of hard forked off from the original Omega software and is now its own independent platform?
I wouldn't say so, just because we have what's called Omega EDI. That solution has been a very mature solution. We do also have different levels of that, like an enterprise solution in a standard solution. And then we have Omega LockSync, which is going to be its own platform as well. So I don't really see an issue of that.
Yeah, but now there's
Yeah.
two different development tracks, Omega LockSync versus
Right.
Omega EDI, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have different developers, different teams that are focused on the LockSync platform, and then we have developers and staff that are focused on the EDI platform on the glass space. And by the way, guys, we have thousands of customers on the glass space, so and it's been around since 2012, so it is a very mature solution, even though the LockSync platform is brand new.
Yeah, yeah. And just to second what Josh said, I mean, I'm on those weekly calls as well. And I'm always looking at it, trying to be the filter of, okay, yeah, I'm not a locksmith, but I've been in this industry for 15 years and I've dealt with locksmiths for 15 years. So how can
Yep.
I translate the feedback that Josh is getting from locksmiths so that the developers at LockSync can understand the best way to implement the needs for the locksmith and kind of give them that background color of the industry. So certainly, it's already targeted, tailored for locksmiths, but as time goes on, it's just going to get more and more and more tailored, right? To Stephen's point, this is still relatively new for locksmiths. And we're just going to continue to improve it, add features, optimize it for the locksmith, because that is going to be the only client or the only type of customer that we're targeting with this software. We're never going to be taking it and trying to use it for electricians and plumbers and things like that. It's always going to be for locksmiths. So it's already meant for locksmiths now, but it's only going to get better, is basically kind of the bottom
Right.
line of what I'm trying to get to here. Next question. Okay, let's see. Rob Reynolds, what are the advantages over Workies? Cost for, say, 1,000 service calls a month. So you covered cost. I think you covered
Yep.
that before Rob came in, but if you could rehash that, and if you
Yeah.
are able to compare against Workies, that would be great.
Yep. So I would say, our comparison to Workies, just based on my experience of coming across Workies and by the way, we've already converted a few Workies customers. The feedback that I got was that Workies sounds like more of a phone system that's just integrated with a job and an inventory management solution that they try to piggyback off of. So that's kind of just my opinion of it. But as far as the advantages of LockSync over Work is that LockSync is really a purpose-built tool for locksmiths. So the core of Omega LockSync is that it's going to be a job management tool, scheduling routing tool, and an inventory management tool. So that's going to be your main advantage of Omega LockSync over Work and ultimately our focus is going to benefit different locksmiths rather than solution that's kind of generic for the field management industry. As far as the pricing and the cost of our solution compared to Work is, I think you mentioned it's 1,000 service calls a month, but ours, we try to really be straightforward. Here at Omega, as well as our partnership with Key Innovations, we kind of see that it's not necessary to nickel and dime customers. So really, the pricing for Omega LockSync for a team user, which is multi users up to 3 users, you're looking at $199 a month. That is it. There's no other fees to it.
Well, one thing, Josh, I want to make sure we
Yeah.
don't forget the SMS. There is.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah.
Yep. So the only other fee in addition to that is $20 a month if you wanted to enable SMS. And the reason why we charge that because we do provide a phone number to that, and then it's 5 cents a message after that. Every additional user past the 3 is $25 $25 a user per month. And then if you're a single user, single location locksmith, it's only $129 a month. And there's no contract to that. So, if you wanted to try it and if you did decide for whatever reason that you wanted to leave us, there's no contract. So so.
And the SMS, when is that applicable? Like, what is the SMS used for?
Yeah, so SMS out of Omega is really used to kind of help you around the job appointment scheduling and whatnot with the customers. So when you think about the overall customer experience and what sets you guys apart from your competition, is that you can send SMS reminders to your customers to let your customer know, hey, you have an appointment today, or hey, you have an appointment tomorrow. Once you dispatch your technician to the job, you can send an SMS message to your customer, letting them know that the technician is en route. And then you can even text back and forth with your dispatcher to the technician. So when you're trying to think about, hey, how can I set myself and my locksmith business apart to the guy down the street? Well, you got to think about that customer experience. And ultimately, that's what the SMS feature is for, is to kind of help improve your customer's experience.
Yeah. No, and I've dealt with some plumbers and things like that use House Call Pro, which I know has a similar kind of functionality. And I always love it when I get the SMS that says like your driver's on the way. And then I'm not like, you can just plan ahead, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think that answers Rob's question. Mo is following up on his inventory management question. Is there an option to import or export your inventory by CSV?
Yes, and it's actually super easy. So we have I can send you what our formatting is.
Mo's a competitor, so don't send him too much. I'm just being friendly, answering his questions. All right. Mo doesn't get any information. We'll send everybody.
Got it. So you can import your inventory via CSV. So super easy, just drag and drop.
Actually, Mo's a supplier. Mo will tell you he's a supplier, not a competitor, and that's true.
Okay.
Sorry, I cut you off there. Keep on.
No, you're good. So imports and exports are super easy out of Omega. So we understand that, hey, you guys need to be able to migrate your data into the system. Bad data in is bad data out. So obviously we want to make sure that we're taking the time on the front end of implementing the software. But we can do CSV imports and exports for your customer data, your inventory data. It's not an issue.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, James Neighbors is asking, as a locksmith, I have this question. How are you going to do this where you have different manufacturers and all the different manufacturers want to use different partners? For example, you can have one key and it can have as many as 6 different numbers on the same key.
Yep. So this is going back to our feature that we're coming out next week, actually. So it's called custom interchanges. So custom interchanges, what this feature is to basically help you exactly with that, James. So we did a lot of work on the front end of developing, reconfiguring Omega LockSync for locksmiths. And one of the biggest challenges that we saw in the locksmith community is that you just said it. There could be 6 different SKU numbers for the same exact key. As you can imagine, for a software vendor, that makes it pretty challenging. So we have a custom interchanges feature that's coming out. So that way you can take all 6 SKU numbers and then map it to a single SKU. And then whenever you do a search for any of those 6 SKU numbers, it'll populate.
Perfect. James, happy to answer any follow-ups if you have them. And I think, Michelle, how much time did we schedule for this? An hour? If
Yep.
so, we have 15 minutes left. So we've still got some time here. Next we've got Guy Caskey, I believe it was, asking, what is the forecasted value for total locksmith participation? I'm asking because I'm wanting to know what your development budget is potentially. One of the advantages for using software that we do now is there is constant development and application being revisited. It's inexpensive software, but allows them to continually innovate. Before you get started, Josh, I mean, one thing I'll
Yep.
say, Guy, obviously we have a target of the amount of customers we would like to hit. Um, and we're fully invested in making this software to be targeted for locksmiths. What those development dollars numbers are, I don't know if we've necessarily were willing to release it, or I don't know them off the top of my head, but Josh, maybe you know more than me, but I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, so we definitely have a pretty large development budget. Majority of the Omega employees are software developers, so we are constantly spending dollars on development. We do see, as a software company, we are going to die if we don't spend a lot of money in software development because there's always future product enhancements. There's software bugs that you have to fix, customer tech support. So we definitely put a pretty big emphasis on our budget for software development. Now, what that budget is, I'll be honest with you, I am too low on that totem pole to be able to know the answer to that question. But I can definitely tell you that is definitely something that's a pretty strong focus for Omega.
Yeah, just Guy, what I've told Josh, my 2 cents here, and just my experience with software and operating systems or ERPs, however you want to put it. It's going to be difficult for us, Omega LockSync, I'll just say us, because we're partnered with them on this, to, or I guess I'll say that a customer like you who's already on a system is going to be a harder customer for us to win because you've got investment that you put time and money into getting on that system, right? And there's only, I think, a limited amount of locksmiths that are on a specialized system like you might be on. And I think probably most locksmiths are operating on a mix of, Google Calendar, QuickBooks, maybe a couple other things. And those are probably we're more likely to get those guys early on than the people that are already on some sort of established system, right? We're in the same boat, right? We're on an ERP software, and if some newfangled awesome ERP came out, as much as we'd love to be on it, it's probably a distraction that we can't have right now, right? So I think that there's opportunity both ways for people that are on big systems and just are frustrated with them, or maybe feel like they're spending too much. I think that's definitely an opportunity for us. I think the bigger opportunity or the closer opportunity for us is probably the guys that are not really on a purpose-built system yet. I mean, Josh can agree or disagree with me, and it'll all shake out as he talks to customers. But as I think about it, that's kind of what I see happening. Um, so yeah, just thought I'd put some color on that. Um, let's see. Mo commented that the fact that you can export CSVs as an instant trust builder, I always tell people to avoid an inventory management system that won't let you download your hardware. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like when a company holds your data hostage, there's nothing that makes me angrier than that. So I'm the same way. I would never sign up with a software like that because yeah, there's plenty of companies out there doing that, and I just don't
To
believe in it.
that point, that's actually funny. I see that because I was working with a customer and they have a larger shop management software because they actually have automotive shops, as well as locksmithing. So they kind of adapted this shop management solution for the locksmith business, but ultimately it's just too expensive for them to be able to afford for that side of their business. So I was actually working with them to be able to export their data, and they have to buy like some sort of like insights reporting module just to be able to extract their inventory data out of the system. So Mo, I'm kind of glad you said that. That's not something that we do. I mean, you can export your data if you wanted to. We're not going to hold you hostage.
Cool. Okay, next question we've got from Gilt Perns. Can you talk about the financial reporting capabilities? Will this generate P&L reports, or is there an option to sync up and export data to QuickBooks or other accounting programs?
Yes. So Omega LockSync is designed to be a locksmith management solution. Is not designed to be a general ledger. So, however, we obviously recognize that we do need to be integrated with a general ledger accounting platform. So, we do have a out of the box integration to QuickBooks Online. So we can help you integrate that. It's free. There's no additional charge to integrate to QuickBooks Online. But then you also do have your financial reports, like your accounts payable, accounts receivable, your inventory reports that are all native within Omega LockSync, and then we can pass that information down to QuickBooks as well, so that way your books are always balanced.
Cool. Is there a P&L report directly in profit and loss, directly in LockSync?
Let me get back to you on that.
Cool. All right.
I'll have to. Yep.
All right. So we will we'll get back to you on that after this, and maybe we'll just post it in the chat after we close the meeting. Okay, James, following up on his comment about different part numbers and SKUs and things like that. Sounds like to me there would be an awful lot of setup inventory work for the locksmith to get things ready to work with multiple different SKU numbers, like he says. So you have to go through and count every piece of inventory you have. I've been in business 35 years. I got bins full of keys. It would be virtually impossible for me to do any tasks. James,
I
what
can
I will
take
tell
that,
you,
Sean, if you want me to.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So James, I agree with you. That is going to be a pain in the ass to do, but you kind of have to do it. So if you're not willing to spend that time in doing that, you're not going to have the data within the software application. Ultimately, our goal is to be able to tell you electronically, hey, you got 5 of these keys or 20 of these keys, and then you can make decisions as far as what you need to reorder for your company. But also, when I was prior to Omega, when I was a Snap-on dealer, as you can imagine, a Snap-on tool truck, we have hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory that are sitting in these trucks. And I have had a lot of peers that they lived in areas where these trucks got stolen. And they, sometimes if they didn't have that inventory management system, they wouldn't have been able to get some of the money back from the insurance companies. So it is, in my opinion, it is absolutely critical to be able to have the right data as far as what you have on hand on your inventory within a software application. There's tons of reasons why you want to have that in a software application, but once you do that once and then you keep your system clean, then you always know what you have. So unfortunately, there is a point where you may have to do that task of doing a physical inventory. I know it sucks. I've been there before, but at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that you just got to do if you want to utilize the software system.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could certainly vouch for doing an inventory count sucks. I mean, I've had to do it for the entire International Key Supply warehouse, and that wasn't fun. So James, I feel your pain. But like Josh said, it is, ultimately for many different reasons, it is a large benefit. It's a nightmare to do up front, hire some helpers to count keys and things like that. That's what we've done in the past. It's not gonna lie, it's not gonna be fun, but once you do it, it just enables you to kind of manage your business a little bit better. So and empower the rest of the tools. So, if you don't want to do that, it might not be the right tool for you, but really can people get away with using it without the inventory management aspect, Josh? Like, is there a way to
It
use it?
could. You could.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you could still utilize the system without having your inventory in it. But kind of going back to what I was saying, bad data in, bad data out. So you won't get that information at your fingertips. But if you wanted, let's say you wanted to use it for the key innovations integration to their catalog, so that way you can quote customers and have all the information of the entire keys catalog at your fingertips, you could use it for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
James, I hope that answers your comment. Again, we're happy to follow up if you have any other additional. Mo asked, do you have plans for any AI integrations?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think there's any plans for an AI integration just yet. That doesn't mean that it may not be something that we look at in the future. I do know we are thinking, we are looking at various integrations out there to third-party applications, like different payment platforms for like tap to pay, stuff like that. But I can check to see if we have an AI integration and
Uh,
let you know.
I will say, I mean, the routing aspect, the dispatch routing aspect of it, I mean, yeah, I guess it's not using AI, but it's using best practices to route
Right.
drivers for the most optimal routes. Is that correct?
That is correct. So based on the technician's skill, what services that you're performing based on that job, the address, the geolocation of where the customer is located, where the job is located, and the back end, the software is basically making those decisions on the fly to be able to route your technicians and things like that. So
Yeah. So not exactly AI, but definitely route optimization is the word I was looking for before.
yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have any other questions. I saw Tisha said, anytime you set up inventory, it's a chore, but it's a priceless asset. And I 100% agree. Um, all right, let me see what else we have here. I want to cover again the whole customer data privacy. I know that this is going to be a concern. I know locksmiths, people have jumped onto the meeting late. So I just want to repeat. Um, we're looking at launching a customer data privacy guarantee because we know that we've already heard the feedback, and I knew that it was already going to be an issue that um, some locksmiths might be suspicious that they're putting their customer data into this platform, and that Key Innovations or Locks Omega will take that and go after the customers directly or something like that. We have no intention of doing that. And just to address that, we're going to put it in our privacy policy, terms of service, and a guarantee for your data, your customer data is yours. We're not going to access it. We're just working on the final kind of wording for that, and we'll get that out here soon. Chad, yeah, here we go. So Chad, let me put on my tinfoil hat real quick. So will all my information be in the system be private and not up for sale to places
Yes.
like other things? I was just covering that, Chad. So yeah, exactly. I mean, we
Yep.
know that that's a concern. Josh has already heard it. I said it before we even started this process that we need to come out with something like that because I knew that we are going to get that question. So yeah, 100%. It's your data. We're going to have a privacy guarantee on it. So keep your eyes out when we have that language finalized. We'll be blasting it out to everybody. Josh, did you have something you wanted to add there?
Yeah, so Chad, our terms of service when it comes to data security, um, confidentiality on your information, it's actually all public. So, and it's on the Omega EDI website. We're just coming out with our own LockSync language to be able to have on our LockSync portal as well. So it's already out there if you wanted to go and take a look. But essentially, in a nutshell, we cannot share your data legally. So and if we ever did do that, I mean, we're basically breaching our terms of service, and we could get sued, and ultimately our company can fall apart if we did do that. So, when it comes to data security, information confidentiality for a software business, that is top of mind for us, and that's definitely something that you could be confident that we're not going to share your information.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. So future plans, we talked about that. How can customers stay up to date, Josh, with the latest stuff with LockSync?
Yep. So the way you guys can stay up to date, we have a Facebook and an Instagram for Omega LockSync. So go ahead and follow those accounts. You can go to omegalocksync.com. And then if you want to reach out to me, I'll make sure that my information is going to be out there as well. So if any of you guys want to take a deeper dive and want to see a personalized demo and take a look into it, take a step further, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to spend some time with you and show you the system.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm
Yep.
going to go ahead and go through our reminders again for everybody who joined late. October, we're doing October training and meet and greet in Phoenix, Arizona, October 10th and 11th. So we hope to see all of our West Coast customers there. We haven't really done stuff out on the West Coast, so it'll be great to kind of put names to faces and shake hands and do some education out there. We're going to do a counter day at our Chicago warehouse August 20th. So we'll have some, coffee, light snacks, deals, meet and greet. garage sale items, key machines and things like that, open box things. And again, just get to put names to faces. And we'll be doing the same thing September 10th in Farmingdale at the Farmingdale, Long Island warehouse. Alex Martinez will be out there, our sales manager. Same thing. We'll have deals. We'll have some food and some snacks, and we'll have whatever. We'll get to meet each other again. Well, Josh and of course myself and the rest of the KI team will be at Aloha in August. So if you want to get a live demo, you want to meet Josh, he will be there in Orlando. I don't remember what the date is. I'm going to be there, but I don't remember the date.
August 9th, I
But
believe.
that sounds about right. It's
8th
August
and
9th,
9th,
yeah.
I want to say. Yeah, something like that.
And if you haven't seen the email, yesterday we launched an update for the KI mobile experience, both the website and the app. So putting the filters that most people care about, such as condition, new, refurbished, aftermarket, whatever, product type, number of buttons, so just a cleaner design, easier access, help everybody get there faster. Looks like we had one more question come in late. I think that's it for my reminders. Oh, I forgot to mention Nashville. So our Locksmith Pro Academy Expo is going to be in Nashville in March 4th through 6th of 2026. So we'll have classes, we'll have expo, we'll have vendors. I will be there. Josh will be there. The rest of the KI team will be there. We'll have a party probably. We usually do. So I'm looking forward to going to Nashville for the first time. So hopefully we'll see a lot of you all there. And this last question was from Roy. He said, I came in late. It may have been addressed. What does the system offer for invoicing and credit card processing? Can Square be integrated for credit card and invoicing?
So the system does have invoicing built in, so you can utilize that to invoice your customers, and it's really simple to do batch invoicing as well. So if you work with different commercial accounts, especially dealerships where you have multiple jobs for one location, you can easily just do a batch invoice. So you can do that. Pricings are all dynamic, so you can easily just change pricing on the fly if you need to. Just because we understand a lot of locksmiths kind of price their keys in their own ways, so we can help you do that. We do currently have 4 different payment gateways that we're integrated with. Unfortunately, Square isn't one of them, but we do have different payment partners that we have integrations to, like Stripe, Authorized.net, and some others as well.
Perfect. Any closing thoughts there, Josh?
Not so much, but I just want to appreciate the partnership with Key Innovations. The partnership has been awesome working with you guys, working with all the Key Innovations customers. I've enjoyed talking to a lot of the ones I've already talked to, and the ones that are on the call. I love to continue the conversation with you guys to really understand, what's important to you guys, the challenges that you see in the day-to-day of operating your mobile locksmith business. I lived the mobile business in the past, and I totally understand a lot of those challenges. And ultimately, I want to help you guys with software and ultimately driving those efficiencies. And maybe it may be a little bit tough to get onto software on the front end, but the idea is that it's going to make your life a lot easier and simpler moving forward and driving those efficiencies for your business so you can grow your companies. And that's really what we're trying to do here, is we're trying to enable you guys to grow through technology. So that's what we're here for. We're really just trying to help you guys. So if there's any way I can service you guys, please let me know.
Cool. Yeah, it reminds me of when I was in the service business many years ago. One of my bosses always said, "Let the tools do the work," right? And this is a tool that when it's set up, you can let it do a lot of the work. So,
Yeah.
Josh, thanks for jumping on. Everybody on Facebook, thanks for jumping on. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them after this. Thanks again. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Thank you, guys.